It's so gorgeous. Oh Lord, oh Lordy me. What is up, everybody? Long time no see. It is AM. Happy to be back with you guys. You might be wondering, why is he standing up? Why is he wearing glasses? What is going on? It's because I'm doing a whole different type of video. Now, I've never done one of these before. I actually even talked myself and I said, you know, I should watch some unboxing videos and just kind of see how they do things. But I didn't. I didn't do that. I just decided I would do it this way with this weird setup, and hopefully you guys will be okay with it. I spent days hesitating making this video, and the reason that I did that was because I got most of the parts for my dream PC build. I got them within the first 3 or 4 days after I ordered them, but my power supply unit, my PSU, had to be shipped in from LA, and it took a long time to get here. I just got it today, so finally I feel comfortable now that I have all the parts that I can actually finally do this for you guys. So it's just gonna be a quick unboxing. You know, most people might see this as, hey, you got packages. I see it as content. I'm actually gonna just open these boxes. I'm gonna pull out the pieces, show you what they are. I think I'm going to possibly start working on this tonight, trying to get it built now that I have all the parts. I think it would be a fun experience. First thing I'm gonna start with the case. So the case that I got is a Corsair 570X, and I'm gonna put a link to all of these parts off of newegg.com, which is where I ordered it, in the description for this video, so that if you guys want to do a similar build, you know that, you know, what I ordered and how much it ran me. I actually saved quite a bit of money because I didn't have to buy displays, I didn't have to buy peripherals, I didn't have to buy a mouse or a keyboard, and because I already had all that stuff. The entire build costs between $2,300 and $2,500. So if you are looking to build a really good high-end gaming computer, not top of the line, but pretty close, it's got really good parts, that would be kind of what you would expect to pay for a similar build as to what I'm going to show you. So let's start with the case. This is everybody's favorite part. Only the computer nerds and the hardware nerds like myself care about what's inside the computer. What most people like is what the computer is going to look like on the outside. So I'm going to get it out of the box real quick and I'm going to show it to you guys. And this box is heavy. No, that was not me struggling to lift something. I am very masculine and manly, so that was just your imagination. Y'all, I am super excited, man. I am super excited about this. This has been a dream of mine. I have been wanting to build a high-end gaming PC rig since I was probably 12 years old. And the fact that I'm finally doing it and I'm taking it out of the box that's been sitting in my office for days is super exciting. By the way, if you're using a knife or some kind of sharp object to open boxes, make sure you are being extremely careful and always cut away from you, not towards you. A lot of people think that's common sense, but you'd be surprised how often I've seen that not happen. Okay, so this box is actually too big for the stool. I'm gonna set it on the floor, and then I'll bring it up out of the box to show you guys. So as I mentioned, this is a 570X Crystal Series Corsair case. It's got 3 RGB fans across the front. It's a huge case. I think it's like 20 inches tall. I needed a pretty big case because I also got a AIO liquid cooling unit that I'm going to install into this, which I will also show you when we get to that box. It's so gorgeous. Oh Lord. Oh Lordy me. So I actually have to be extra careful with this because one of the things I really loved about this case, which also makes it kind of fragile, is it does use tempered glass. It has tempered glass on all sides. I'm going to try to lift it up and show y'all. Gorgeous. So right here in the front you can see the RGB fans that I mentioned. And this case is super heavy, y'all, but I think that's going to be more than enough space to get all the parts that I need installed into it. It's actually better than I expected, and this is going to look so good. It's going to look so good once I get it lit up and have all the parts in there. It's actually super heavy though, so I'm going to very gently set it down and then we'll get to the next box. Okay, this one's much lighter, and I already know what this one is because this is the one that I was waiting for. This is the one I just got today. So this is my PSU, or power supply unit. So this is made by EVGA. It's a 750 GA, and it's 750 watts, as you can see here at the bottom, which is probably more power than I'm going to need, but it is the 80+ gold standard. Really just gives you a better, more stable power supply, less energy consumption. And this one is also fully modular. controller. Really, that's just a fancy way of saying there's no cables attached to it. Just connect the cables that you actually need instead of having all these extra peripherals and wires you're never going to use that you have no need for. It's actually a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be too. Move on to our next box. It's getting good, y'all. Next up, we have another box, which as you can see has been beautifully taken care of by UPS. I really hope no components in here are damaged. Here's to hoping. Cross your fingers, guys. Part of the excitement of this for me is that I don't know what's in these boxes. I knew about the case because it came in its own separate box. I knew about the PSU because it came in its own separate box, but I have these other two boxes where the components were all kind of jumbled together, so I don't know what I'm opening right now. I don't know what this is. It's an unboxing, right? So why don't I take it out of the box? Yeah, there was not much marking on the box itself. I'm glad I was gentle with this because what this is my 2 terabyte SSD 6. So this is a hard drive, and this is a solid state drive, which is basically a card that actually can plug directly into your motherboard. It's a lot more storage for a lot cheaper, and it's actually a lot faster than even standard SSDs. Check that out, 2048 gigabyte. This beautiful thing right here. Oh my gosh. So with gaming PCs, really when it comes down to it, what people really care about is your GPU or your graphics processing unit and your CPU or central processing unit. This is my graphic card. This was one of the most expensive components in the whole bunch, because this is an EVGA GeForce RTX 2080 Super. Again, not top of the line, I understand that, but it is one of the best video cards you can get currently. This thing will probably run anything that's going to come out in the next 3 to 5 years seamlessly. Really, really good for VR too, which is really the main reason why I wanted to buy this desktop PC anyway, was because my 1060 that I have on my gaming laptop wasn't handling VR very well. This is going to be a monster, and I am excited about it. All right, guys, we are down to one more box. So process of elimination tells me since my graphics card and my hard drive was in that box, this is pretty much going to contain everything else. You know what would really suck, and I just thought about it? If I open this box up and realize that I'm missing something or something didn't get shipped to me. You know what? I am not going to speak that into existence. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh man. Put that nice little knife away. Okay. So this is my new motherboard. This is an MSI MPG Z490, which uses the brand new LGA1200 socket, which is again nerd speak, but basically all you need to know is that this specific socket is the only one that's compatible with 10th generation CPU cards. This is a gaming carbon Wi-Fi. This also has Mystic lights on it, so it's gonna light up and look really pretty. So a couple of cool features about this. It does have the core boost for multi-core CPUs, like 10th generation Intel CPUs. It's got the 2.5G LAN, and it's also got the 20G Lightning USB. So you can hook up very high-powered, high-speed devices to this. It does have an app that comes with it where you can control the lights and the light patterns. It's also got the M2 Shield, which is for the hard drive that I showed you guys. It actually protects those cards. Also dissipates the heat across the motherboard a whole lot better, so it actually keeps your CPU slightly cooler as well as the rest of your motherboard. It looks good, guys. Can't wait to show y'all when I put it together. Okay, this is my G.SKILL RGB, 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. It's gonna be a lot of lights in this case, guys. It's gonna look really pretty at night while it's sitting there spinning with the fans. I did go with 32, but the motherboard can support up to 128 gigabytes of RAM. I decided that's a little bit overkill for what I need. This bad mama jamma right here. This, as I mentioned, the LGA1200 socket that it uses is specifically for the 10th generation Intel chips. So this is a 10th generation i7 unlocked, which means it can actually be overclocked more. I don't do much with overclocking. Generally speaking, the standard clock speed on these are just fine, unless you're using it for high-end multimedia, 3D design, things like that. And I can hear the nerds out there now saying, well, why don't you go with AMD board and get a Ryzen? I thought about it, to be honest with you, but the 3rd generation Ryzen, like the Threadrippers, cost as much by themselves as this entire setup was together. I actually did a little bit of research, and actually for VR gaming and for most gaming applications, the i7 is more than sufficient. It's got 16 megabyte cache on it, LGA1200 as I mentioned right there. I think this is going to work just fine. So it is the i7 10700K, as you can see. This is a genuine copy of Microsoft Windows 10. That's boring. I'm going to throw that right over there. Okay, and here it is, guys. I had mentioned earlier in this video that I got an AIO cooling system. So I'm a big fan of MSI. I think MSI makes really good products. And I ended up getting this MAG CORELIQUID 360R. So it is a triple fan liquid cooling unit, which I'm probably gonna end up mounting across the top of the case. That way we have the exhaust fan in the back, we got the 3 fans in the front, and we got the liquid cooling on the top. Should keep that CPU and that GPU nice and cool for even high-end gaming, which I don't do a ton of, to be honest with you guys. I don't play a lot of super high-end games, but particularly for VR, you really need a very strong CPU, GPU, and cooling to keep it all nice and cool if you want it to run seamlessly and flawlessly. So one cool thing about this fan in particular is the block head right here is actually rotatable. Henry Cavill, Superman, he posted a video recently on social media with him building his own CPU. You could tell it took him hours because you could see the window near where he's working, and it went from daylight into nighttime, and he was still working on this thing. So he got all this stuff together and he powered it up, and his block head was on upside down, and he didn't have a rotatable block head, so he had to actually tear the whole thing apart, put it back on correctly. So he ended up fixing it, but hopefully I won't have to worry about that, because if I put it on wrong, I can just say, oh, that's wrong, turn it, we should be fine after that. So guys, I think that pretty much wraps up. That pretty much is all the components for this endeavor. Again, I'm really excited about this. It's been a dream of mine for a very long time. I'm gonna get started on it probably tonight and see how far I can get before I get frustrated. I know quite a bit about computers, but I have never actually built one from scratch. I've replaced components, I've replaced parts, I've replaced hard drives and batteries, and so I know my way around a motherboard, but actually building it from scratch is something that I have never done. So I'm excited and I'm nervous, and I want to do it right the first time. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just let me know. Again, I'm gonna leave links in the description box for all of these components so you can price them out if you're considering building a PC, a similar PC with these kind of specs. We will see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all, I am about 2 hours into the process. It actually hasn't been too bad so far, but I just wanted to show you guys the motherboard. I'm getting ready to secure this into place. And I also installed the AIO liquid cooler securely in there. This part right here was actually kind of tricky because you had to have a bracket that slid up from behind. And then there was also a mounting clip you had to put in here, which you see now has these screws going into it. But I got the 3 fans installed. Sorry about my messy table, by the way. I didn't have a very good surface to work on, but it's coming together, guys. Pretty excited about the progress. Hopefully we'll get it fired up either tonight or tomorrow. All right, a little trick of the trade here, guys. If you are ever deciding to build a PC, make sure you get a magnetic screwdriver. Most of a computer can be built really using only a screwdriver. There's some thumb screws you can undo and tighten with just using your finger, but this has been a lifesaver. Like, I've dropped, I don't know how many screws, and I've been able to pick them up in the motherboard and all in between all these little small components because I have this trusty magnetic screwdriver. It's handy, I'm telling you. All right, so it is almost 2 in the morning now, and ran into a slight problem with the cooling system with the 570X case that I got. Thought I could do a roof mounted, like a top mounted fan system, but looking at the case here, it looks like there's really only a spot to do a 2 fan, which is kind of an issue because now I'm basically going to attach the radiator to the fans that are already here in the front. Those ones, I'm gonna attach it behind there. I'm gonna have basically 3 fans that serve no purpose. So if anybody needs some PC fans, I'm your guy. Come talk to me. The thing I am worried about doing it this way is that now I will not have adequate cooling. So I have a pretty high-end graphics card and a pretty high-end CPU. Now the i7s, particularly the 10th gen, are built to be more temperature resistant. They regulate their temperature a lot better than some of the other older Intel CPUs. But the graphics card that I have does have fans built into it. I'm gonna have the fans in the front. CPU is going to be liquid cooled once I get the radiator attached behind it. And so I'm hoping it's still gonna be okay, but a little nervous now. It worked. Corsair logo is now lit up. RGB fans are now working. Motherboard components are all lit up. Oh, so much work. I'm finally done. All right, you guys, so we finally got this thing working. It was actually a lot of work A lot of work, a lot more work than I really thought it was gonna be. It's looking really pretty. You see my RAM right there glowing. You see my cooling unit right there glowing. I have the LED fans on the front right here. I tried to basically put the radiator across the top here, but unfortunately there wasn't really enough room for me to do that. So I ended up actually just mounting the radiator behind the front fans. You see my GeForce RTX 2080 card in there, and then I still have to install a fan, and I still have to get my operating system and everything running. But this is it, guys. Hold on, let me turn the light off so we can see it in the dark. Hold on. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Love it.